everyone. I am so excited to talk about our topic tonight. Now, I put a video out the other day kind of talking about this, and when I was doing so, I thought I would go to all my different experts in the field. So, first off, with us, I have Drew from Comics Elite, who is a professional comic book writer and author of Born of Blood, working with Merritt Michaels. So, yeah, I had to bring him on. How are you today, Drew?
First, I want to say that is probably the coolest intro video I have seen in a long time. I really like that.
Thank you.
How did you manipulate the Mark Hamill intro voice for Nerdette's Newsstand?
There's this website, I think it's like yarn.co. I can send it to your email later. And they have,
Send it to my email too.
Okay. They have the coolest stuff on there. Like, you can pick from hundreds of people to make it sound like that person. Like, they have people from like the Joker to Batman to people from like Nickelodeon, like Yo Gabba Gabba, and then they have like YouTubers. Like, you can make a Chills intro if you wanted to. It's the coolest thing ever. I'll send it to you guys. It's so fun to mess with.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you.
Nerdette, Tristan, you'll be happy to know that Born of Blood, the books came in, so we're gonna be sending those out this week.
Are you still waiting on the pin? I think it was.
I think we're still waiting on the enamel pin. I'm going to check with Murphy on that. But as far as I know, the books just got here, so we're going to be starting to ship those out.
You've got to be so excited.
It's beyond surreal at this point. But yeah, I can't believe it. Just can't wait for everyone to actually hold it in their hands, and I can't wait to actually hold it in my hands. It's going to be exciting.
I know. I'm excited. I'm not giving away any spoilers, but you know what I've seen of too. I was like, it just gets better. Like, how does it just get better? Like, I was like shocked at how the color. Oh my god! I don't want to give anything away, but you guys are gonna be so happy with the product you get.
Yeah, trust me, we put our time into this, and we got Joe Corallo. Yeah, we can say it now. Joe Corallo is my editor now.
No way!
Yep. Joe is my editor. He's working with me on all my upcoming issues, and Aaron Sparrow is actually one of the head editors now as well.
Oh my god!
Publishing. Yes.
This is like, holy shit. Like, the perfect team. Like, Joe's amazing. That is so cool. Congratulations.
And thanks. And bigger news. If you are a retailer now, if you look in the Lunar solicitations, you will see Merc Publishing in the Lunar catalog. We are officially going to be in stores.
Oh my god. You guys are
nice.
Holy crap. You guys are killing it.
Killed it.
That's right. That is so fucking cool. Speaking of Miss Saggy Melons, how are you tonight? You were my when I was trying to think of people, I'm like, okay, I've got Drew for comics, I've got Bianca for anime, and you are my resident drama queen, and I love it. Like, you know everything. If I need to know something, I go to Saggy. How are you?
I'm good. No, it's been one heck of a couple weeks for us. It's been fun.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, dude, it's been great. But no, I'm so glad that you invite. I always love coming here because number one, you always have the best intros, and your music is like the music choices you use are always fire. You. Like, I always have loved that song, Jekyll and Hyde. Oh my god, that song is a banger. And you did it. You used it really well with everything you did. But yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Hello to anyone that's watching on my stream. Just for no confusion, on my channel, this is actually hosted by Nerdette's Newsstand. This is not hosted by me, so I can't do my usual shtick. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, definitely. So I love doing my videos. I love doing that kind of stuff. But like, my intros, I put way too much time into, and I kind of just love being able to manipulate like the characters we love and putting them to music. So that's my favorite one so far. I like the comic book aspect of it because a lot of times I'll use like live action stuff, right? Because it's so much easier. There's so much more. But yeah, thank you so much. I love it. So Bianca, my resident anime expert, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Hopefully everybody's doing fine too.
And we were supposed to have Dr. Soup, and she had some issues with high power. Same with Nerdy Girl Creates. But we are going to get him back on at a different time. And it was, just a bad situation. I need poor Carrie from Nerdy Girl Creates. I get her on, and every time something happens, so I swear I'm gonna get her on one of these times. I'm gonna pick her brain. It just seems to happen that way, but we will get her back on. So, what I wanted to talk about, and I like kind of introducing a topic during the week, and later we'll look at comments and stuff, but I got this really insightful comment the other day. And basically, what it boiled down to was the idea that we have such extreme political and societal division right now that we can't have nice things. We can't have these crazy comic book runs that maybe push boundaries that normally, you wouldn't see nowadays because either the right or the left would be offended. And I wanted to kind of look at it from a few different people's perspective as to, do you think that these extremes are killing pop culture, comic books, anime, maybe not anime so much because that seems a little untouched, but starting with you, Saggy, how can pop culture, how can this overcome this tribalism?
Oof. I mean, I don't know, to be honest, because like when you think back at pop culture back in the day before social media was a thing, mainly social media, I actually 100% blame social media
Okay.
for for everything that's going on when it comes to culture wars and stuff like that. Because before, like people didn't care as much about the people who make the entertainment, the actors who are part of it. Like, yeah, they were fans of them and stuff, and I guess the closest thing we had to getting to know the people involved in these works, where they're politically stand and stuff, was like magazines, like TMZ,
Right.
like TMZ and stuff like that, like those type of magazines, USA Weekly thing. That was the only time we really got interested more into the people who create all of these things. So like people didn't care. Like, let's be real. Like, there was always a message, a hidden message in a lot of entertainment for a long time. People who are writing stories, they want to also insert their life experiences or their political beliefs, and they're telling a story that kind of shadows a little bit of their own personal life experience and how they think. And they've been doing it for a long time, but nobody really noticed to this level that they do now, with social media being a thing where everyone now has access to getting to know the creators of these things. And, oh wait, that guy believes in this, or this person supports that. Like, no, I can't get behind that. And it's like, but bro, you guys were fine with it until you started getting knowing people. So I mean, I don't think at this point there will ever be a peace when it comes to culture wars. I think it's always going to be just a new fight. I think that it's just going to get worse before it gets better. I think we have to literally crash as a community, like kind of hit our rock bottom with the culture
Right.
war before we have a chance to like recover from it.
And I think that's true because a lot of times, like looking at the offended right. So if you look at, they'll often champion old characters that were gay and say, well, we had this, but when a new character comes up, they're not necessarily accepted. And I do think it plays a lot into like how the media is now advertising things, even at the behest of what the companies want, right? Like, so instead of saying I use John Kent as an, because he's newer, when it comes to that situation. This story is going to be about A, B, and C, but instead it's John Kent is bisexual. And I think a lot of people have an issue with that sort of marketing where they put more blame on the company when it's the mass media. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Drew? Do you think that what possible way for, you specifically going into comics, for comics to overcome this offended on each side kind of tribalistic nature?
Whew.
It's hard.
It really is. There really isn't, unfortunately, a simple solution. But I like to think, not to prop myself up, but writing a story like what I wrote for Born of Blood, there is effectively no political story in that at all whatsoever. It's about a woman of Sparta, having to earn her place, having to earn her right to be a Spartan, fighting for it, fighting for her life effectively. That's the type of story. Those are the type of stories I want to tell. We need to get back to storytelling like that. But
isn't war inherently political?
Man's been at war since the dawn. Man's always been at war.
War's never changed.
Yeah, war is war. War's always been there. It's always going to be there. But back to what you were just talking about, newer gay characters. But little sneak preview. I've been reading all this stuff for next week, and Action Comics next week, great issue. Midnighter, he's at the forefront of the issue. We all know he is one of our favorite characters. Sean, Kyle, and I. He's a gay character in a relationship with Apollo. And in this issue, he's at the breaking point. He is just like, he's had enough of this. He is going to go get Apollo. We're getting out of here. But the way it's told, you just see how obsessed and how driven he is. But everyone around him is telling him, no, you are not thinking with a clear head right now. Like, right. They all know who he is and without saying it, that we know that they're gay, but they don't have to say it because we know he's thinking inherently from a loving place, but he is not in the right place of mind, right? Not in the right frame of mind.
What? Excuse me, sir. What do you mean we don't have to say they're gay? We need clarification that these characters are in a gay relationship so that the LGBTQ community can feel seen and heard.
Oh my! Hold on, I actually have a question for you, Drew, when it comes to that. I know.
I was like, oh, this is good.
You're like, what?
This could be a long hour or 2 hours.
I'm kidding. I do that. I'm sorry.
Let me get these super chats, and then I actually do have a question that kind of pertains to that. Sad thing is, man people. What? Man people? Is that a new? Okay. Think either they represent new fans, SJWs, or old school fans, anti-SJWs, and there's no in between. Norm does not exist anymore. Yeah, except for it does. You just have to ignore the loudest voices, and I think that's kind of where I stand when it comes to that. Thank you so much, Robert. In Fantasy I Die, they're wearing generals. The conflict must be perpetual. There can never be peace. The culture is the prisoner of war. The nuance is the casualty. Damn, that was deep as fuck, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
I got one more, but that was deep. Robert, thank you again. Thank you. In Fantasy I Die. Normies don't exist. I mean, stupid autocorrect. I figured that's what you mean. I was just making sure. But that's where I think we're gonna disagree a little bit. You can pretend like they don't. People can pretend like they don't, but they absolutely do. They're absolutely there. So thank you guys both so much. So this is kind of your sarcastic moment there, Saggy, but to Drew also, what is the issue with a person in a comic book or a movie openly stating that they're gay? Or is it how it is perpetuated?
I guess how it's told, how it's said. Just it's like you don't have to tell us that. We know. We've known.
No, that's a lie. I'm stupid. I need somebody to tell me. I'm not good with nuance. I'm not good with subtlety. Just tell me, okay?
Well,
I'm too dumb.
No, you're not.
I live in a conservative household where I wasn't taught all this stuff, so I don't know any of the nuances. I don't know anything. I need somebody to tell me.
So my thing is like, as long as their sexual orientation is like relevant to their story and character, I don't mind them saying like, yeah, I'm gay. Or if they want to like, you know what I'm saying? If it's important to their character and their development, I'm fine with it. I don't think it's the worst type of thing. It's like, 'cause again, we want good storytelling. And a character who's struggling with their sexual identity could be an interesting story to tell. But I think the problem is a lot of people are kind of tired of it because it's like at this point, a lot of people who, I won't even say like we'll just say regular people who are okay with homosexuality, right? They're already okay with it. So there's no need for it to matter anymore. And I think that's where people get the confusion and the misunderstanding is like, they're not mad that you're announcing a character is gay. They're mad because they don't care. So they don't feel like they need it announced to them because they just don't care. Is the story good? Is them being gay really going to excel the storyline? If so, then sure, I don't mind. But if it's just there for the sake of like oh, well, we just have to have inclusion. Like, no, we don't want that crap. We just want good storytelling. And if that matters to the story, knock yourself out. But if it doesn't, shut the hell up.
Yeah, and that's why really, Tristan, I really think you're going to love this upcoming issue of Action Comics. What I was just saying about Midnighter, because I mean, it's implied without having to say it. We know, and the people on that planet know. So I just check it out. Let me know what you think.
Oh, I'm sure. Action Comics has been so good. Like,
I need Action
underrated.
Comics.
It needs to have the sales need to be up because my God, it's gonna be one that you're like looking back in 10 years and you're like, you remember the Warworld saga? Remember how good like from the writing to the art to the side characters, everything
Yeah.
in that book is so good. Let me get this super chat real quick and then I want to add something to what Saggy says. I agree. Normies exist. I am one. The extremes don't. Yes, they feel like it's one or the other, and that's where I have the biggest problem with it because I don't have an issue. And I'm not sure. So for a long time, stories were able to be told when it came to heterosexual relationships. That's, we've seen it when it comes to Lois and Clark. We've seen it when it comes to Selena and Batman. We've seen all of these stories. I don't get the issue of why it is not okay for it to be said that somebody is gay, especially when maybe somebody doesn't pick up on it. If it is forced, if it is badly written, there's the issue. That's the issue with me. But for a scene to have like, Batwoman and a guy, maybe hitting on her and her to say, I'm gay, that to me, I don't see an issue with. And I'm not sure, like you said, Saggy, that these, people are just okay with it. But we're seeing that in a large part, not always. Look at the Dave Rubin situation right now. It's a
Yeah.
big
So
deal
what happened with that? So were people not okay with how?
Yeah,
they
not okay with him having children. Like,
Okay, I
what?
want to make sure I was clear on that. I'm like, wow, how about that? Jesus.
Yeah, so like saying that this actual, wanting of no gay characters doesn't exist isn't true because we're seeing it in real life. We see it all the time. So telling those stories when they haven't been able to be told is where I don't see an issue. For a long time, the Comics Code Authority completely didn't allow it. And then even after that, they were very skittish on whether or not they should tell those stories. Look at you got like Kyle Rayner's assistant, I forget his name. They did a little bit of a story with him. But really, if you're talking DC specifically, we didn't have any real besides Midnighter and Apollo and Batwoman. There really wasn't much for a long time. So for those stories to be able to told now, here and now, even if there's quite a few, I don't see the issue because we've had all the stories with, we still have heterosexual couples all the time.
Right. Well, I was also going to add that, like, look at the history of, like, why, because, like, back in the day, I feel like they were inserting homosexual relationships because it was, like, taboo, right? It was, like, we weren't there when it comes to, like, gay being normal, right? Like gay
Right.
wasn't normal back then. So when we had our first gay characters, everyone's cheering like yay, and then it's like now that we're in a world where being gay isn't like demonized like it used to be, it's
Right.
like I don't feel like it needs to be like how do I explain this?
The
I feel
center.
like with the not even the center, but it's like if you're trying to normalize something, then let these stories be told naturally where you don't have
Right.
to emphasize on the fact that these characters are in a homosexual relationship. It should just flow naturally because what
I
it's
get
coming
that.
off as they're just doing it because they're trying to get the LGBTQ community money. That's it. And that's what it is. Like
How
if
does
you
it
want
benefit them monetary in money?
well, so what's like I would say think of like back to like culture wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because being gay was still kind of a struggle for like people to kind of come to terms with that it's fine, right? So there was
Mm-hmm.
always a fight with that. There's still a fight with that. It's not as bad as it used to be. It's getting better, but you can't change the world in one day. But I feel like when it started becoming less acceptable to bash homosexuality or demonize it,
Right.
That's when I feel like some of these people are kind of like exploiting and taking advantage of that. Like, okay, it's no longer cool to be to divide everything. Like we can now use this and start talking about it and kind of cater to the new norm, which is like being gay is fine. And
Right.
again, if you're trying to do something naturally and you want to make it normal, the best way to do it is to not bring too much attention as to why this is different. Like, I'm
Right.
sorry, like having a gay character anymore, I'm not applauding and cheering. Yay, we
Right.
finally
No,
have a
I
gay
yeah, I
character.
totally agree there.
Yeah, it's like no one's cheering anymore. It's like, okay, we just have a character that happens to be gay. Like, no one's excited about it like they used to be because back then it was rare. Now it's normal, so there's no need to continue to push that narrative. Like, yeah, we're being inclusive. Like, bitch, we've been inclusive and all this stuff for like a while now. Well, you guys are like new to this. Like, I don't understand. But that's just how I see it, and that's what I mean. Like, if you want to normalize something, freaking normalize it. Don't emphasize on the fact that they're gay. We don't need mentions of it. If we can kind of at this point tell if a character is gay or not. I mean, for Christ's sake, how many times have I heard the what was it, Tristan? One of the Robins, or was it not Robins? Like I think it was like one of the Robins
Yeah,
was
Tim
like
Tim
Drake.
Drake.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tim Drake was bisexual. I've literally had people say, yeah, he kind of came off as bisexual or he
Yeah. Oh
kind
yeah.
of
He was queer
gay back
coded
in
for
the
a long
day,
time.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like we have gaydar now, guys. You don't have to tell us a character's gay. We will find out either way.
What about you, Bianca? How does it is it harder you said it mentioned it was a little bit harder for you to tell something like that. So do you mind the in your face kind of thing?
No, I personally never minded it.
A-
As
And I
a
get
person with a who is conservative ever since at a young age, when somebody would say, "Oh, I'm gay," it would just be like, "Ugh," and then you'd like turn off the TV or just never watch it ever again. But after learning and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, so I'm fine with it now. I just like hints are not enough for me. I In middle school I had a friend who is literally the stereotypical gay person, but I didn't know he was gay,
right.
and I didn't know what gay was. I didn't know there were people who were attracted to the same sex. And so my friend, she asked me one time, "Hey, are you interested in any guys in the school?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, are you a lesbian?" And I'm like, "What's a lesbian?" And she's like, attracted to the same sex. And I'm like, "No." I just don't want to date anybody. And that's when I was told, "You're weird for doing something like that." I'm like, okay." And she's like, "Our friend?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what about him?" He's like, "He's gay." And I'm like, "What's gay?" He's like, "He's attracted to guys." I'm like, "What? That's a thing?" He's like, "Look at the way he walks. How can you not tell?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Just ask him." And I'm like, "No, no, no. I can't ask something like that." They're like, "No, just ask him. He's fine with it." And so I'm like, "Hi, are you gay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gay." And I'm like, "Oh." And I'm like, my brain just like exploded. And I'm like, I never knew anything like this in my life." And I was like in eighth grade.
You were so sheltered.
Leave me alone.
It's cute though. That's the exact opposite
It's
for
been
me is
cute.
when I was growing up, I don't I didn't like hanging out with men because it was always like a predatory thing to me. So I always hung out with gay men because I didn't get along with women. So my two best friends in high school were gay men, and I'm like, this is perfect, you know? They're not interested in me, and they're not bitchy girls. Like I it always worked out better for me to actually get along with gay men. But even at that time, and oh my God, it's been so long. I'm not even going to say how long ago. Nobody in my school cared except for maybe a few people that would make their lives hell. But it was those few people that got them down. So like I get it. There are people, but then you've got to have that nuance in storytelling. And I think that's really what it all comes down to is how the story's told. Are you able to write these characters like Drew used as Midnighter and Apollo? Two great characters that are, I would say, pretty much widely accepted and loved.
Absolutely.
And nobody cares. So, in your opinion, Drew, what is the difference between something like that and John? just because John's the newest character?
Well, I don't. Well, to me, I think we've actually said it's not an issue with for me him being gay at all. I
Right.
haven't cared about that. It's just the stories, just him as a character himself. Him being gay, I couldn't care less about. It's
Right.
just how he's been portrayed as I don't see him as a hero, honestly, a quote unquote a hero. It just
I find that weird. I'm not gonna lie.
My view on it, or just how he acts in the comics.
No. How you don't see him as a hero?
It's just who he's hanging around. Like his love interest.
Yeah,
It
he's
doesn't
got
feel right. I
he's
really
got a
feel
little
like,
bit of weird dude vibes, doesn't he? Like
yes,
he might be, all straight and forward, but he also might be the fucking villain in the story.
yeah, I guarantee you he is. I mean, how they're operating. I'm really feeling like this guy is like a terrorist, and John is just being duped. John is just his patsy, more or less. And I really do hope, hey, if he learns heartbreak, through this, we'll see what happens. There you go, be great character building right there. But just it's just how he's written as a character. I'm not a big fan of, but maybe we'll see some stuff, come out from this other character, and he'll experience heartbreak, which would be good.
Yeah, and it would be a moment of growth. It would be a moment of showing us, like, I liked the I think it was in 5 or 6 where he that person accidentally died and he was really upset about it. And I thought that was really good because he knew he fucked up. Like, he knew he fucked up with that sea monster.
Did he know he did? Because I didn't take it as that. That was
really?
one of the problems. I'm like, I don't think he understood that he messed up. Did he?
Oh, see, the crying kind of gave it away, Drew.
Okay. I thought that was Rain. Okay, I have to take a look at that again.
It might have. Well, now I'm questioning myself. But anyways, yeah, I thought so. I like that because he was like, "I'm sorry," he knew he messed up in that moment. But like, I don't know. I see him as more going towards fighting injustice instead of criminals. And there's definitely a difference there. And I think that's what they're going for. But I'm going to be honest.
But what he's fighting,
7 or 8 issues to get there.
Yeah, and just look, when you start bringing in climate change and there's no planet B, when you have this world full of gods, it doesn't work. You can't do
that. Cover was bad.
Yes, it doesn't work.
You see, they changed it.
I think they realized. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we do have other planets with other people that live on them in this universe. Maybe we should fix that.
There's literally a planet B, like that we evacuated our deceased people to, and he wrote that also. Like, come on, have a little bit of self-awareness here. Let me get these super chats real quick. Thank you so much, Robert. Sorry, I didn't mean to miss it. My restream chat's acting up. EVS and Co could promote Action Comics, but they no,
he doesn't. He wants nothing to do with DC. He's done.
And let's be real. He's got to get his own book out, and it doesn't seem like that's happening. So maybe he doesn't have time. Let's just say that. We'll be nice.
Absolutely, yeah. Because we've called him. Kyle called him out on it when we did our video. It's like, hey, it's been 2 years, man. So
let me see. I got another. I had to go all the way up. I'm sorry. My restream, is your guys' restream chat acting up at all?
Oh, my restream chat's gone. I had to open up another tab, so for some reason it's not loading properly. Yeah.
I had the error and I decided to do nothing because I remember last time I did something and it messed it up, and so now it's gone and now it's back.
Should have done that myself. Damn.
I got it back, yeah. Okay, so aren't Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson secretly gay icons?
No. That was for Frederick Wortham in the Seduction.
Yeah, he's it.
No.
Yeah,
what happened?
Apparently that Frederick. Was gay.
There was a huckster back in the 50s who wrote a book called The Seduction of the Innocent. He was a doctor at a psychiatric facility in New York, and he dealt with a lot of kids who had mental problems. And he learned, I guess, one thing they all had in common was they read comic books. Therefore, comics are evil. And yeah.
Good stuff.
Awkward silence after he said it.
Well, and the whole thing was like you couldn't. There was certain words you couldn't say, even like horror. Like It was the it was the first type of cancel culture. Instead of writing a tweet, you write a whole book about it and you get
Yeah.
the whole industry reshaped in your legacy there.
Yeah.
It
For the
was
next 40
ridiculous.
years. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and even going like what was it, 89 or something they got rid of it?
Marvel got rid of it in 98, 99 because I remember Joe Quesada, when he took over, he asked about the comics code. He's like, wait a second, like, do we even know what's in it now? Do we even know where this office is? And there was no office. There was no one there. So they're like, let's just take it off. So yeah, they did it.
I saw in the chat that's on the screen that I can see.
Good.
Somebody asked, I think it's Shelby that asked if we think that there are more normies in the culture war than fans, and Bianca said there are more normies, but I actually disagree. I feel like to have a culture war, you have to have it's about the fans, because the fans are the ones that actually care more about the normies. The normies don't care as passionately as fans do. So when you're talking about culture war, it's the fans that make the culture war, because they are fans of these things, and they're the ones that are going to find reasons to be upset with these things. So the normies don't care. The normies just want to see good entertainment. They don't think too much into it, because again, they don't know the whole like backstory of a lot of these characters, especially in comics and like superhero films, and respectively. They don't all go back to know the history of them. So
Oh
normies
shoot!
don't.
I misread that wrong.
Right, because I was like, Bianca
and I'm
said,
like, wait.
yeah, it's supposed
Oh
to be the normies.
shoot!
I'm like, nah,
I didn't
it's not the
realize. I'm so
normies.
sorry.
Yeah, the normies don't care, because a lot of the normies, they don't know the history behind Batman. They don't know Superman's lore. Like, they know the basic stuff, but they don't know the deep lore. They don't know the multiple stories. So when it comes to that, it's like, no, fans, there are way more fans in culture wars. That's actually only fans are in culture wars. Normies don't give a crap.
I'm so
Wait,
sorry,
You
Shelby. I
actually hit on a
misread
good
that.
point. You actually hit on a good point, because I really believe, I mean, there are some creators of films, movies, manga, anime, or not so much manga or anime, but comics and movies, where they'll take a property and make a very polarizing approach to those characters. They'll have them do stuff out of character. And I think that can really cause the division, the split right there, which can
I
cause the
remember when they did
tribalism.
that to my favorite anime character, and I forever hated them for it.
I
There we
was
go.
gonna say,
Boom.
I was gonna say, Drew said not manga and anime. I'm like, ooh, I don't think you've really been in the anime community.
No, I no. Tristan will tell you, I know next to nothing.
Oh, let me tell you. Like, you think culture war is bad with like our industry and our comics? Like, anime is on a new level of culture war. Like, they will literally destroy you if you badmouth their waifu. Like, it's not even a joke. Like,
There's a new
literally-
waifu already.
Right, there's a new waifu that everyone's into in the anime. Like, I'm in the anime community too, so that's why I'm like, me and Bianca, we vibe. And Bianca knows, like, you badmouth a character that's popular, bro, the anime community will destroy you.
You're
like,
gonna
they
have
will
a
go above
300
and
threads
beyond.
of people just attacking you.
Oh, they don't play. Listen, I tell people, like, when it comes to Japanese fans, like their music and stuff, I had a friend, true story, sorry, it's a little off topic, but I had a friend who had a YouTube channel, and it was a pretty decent sized channel. And we were joking with him to do a reaction to Baby Metal. And now, if you don't know what Baby Metal is, okay,
Baby Metal.
I don't
okay,
know what waifu is. I don't know
cool.
Baby Metal.
Right. Baby Metal is a very popular Japanese group. And I told him, I said, I don't think you should do this. I don't think it's a good idea. So he did it. And man, and all he said was, it's okay. He didn't say hate it. He just said it was okay. His video got badly ratioed. Like, he had hate comments up the wazoo. I said, you don't piss off the Japanese community. You don't piss off the Japanese. Their fan bases are, you want to talk about toxic? Woo! They told him to off himself. They like, what does this fat old white guy know about music? It was bad. I was laughing because I was like, I told you. Listen, nothing is worse. BTS, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Ever
Their fans
talk
are
bad about BTS.
crazy.
Or
Oh,
even
man.
any Korean group, honestly.
No,
I said
any Korean
something and I mentioned another group, but like, oh, I usually listen to this group, but I really like this group, and then threads telling me, how dare you mention another group in this comment section. And I'm like, oh my gosh, chill.
Listen,
like
y'all
older
think
than
that
all
the
of
culture
you.
war now. Trust me, don't do it to yourself. I've learned I've learned to keep my mouth shut. I'm just gonna enjoy anime by myself and not talk about with nobody.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You know what though, Saggy, you say like the fans are the ones in the culture war. You can't honestly believe like the new issue of the day, all of the fans like specifically talking about like Fandom Menace, the new thing they're mad of every day. You can't tell me that they are all huge fans of this thing. You
Well,
like it becomes a point where it doesn't matter what it is, you're just mad.
well, here's the thing. Fans actually care about these things. They actually care. So any war starts because one side cares about something passionately, so they're gonna fight for that. So I would say, yeah, you're like, but here's the thing. Now, hardcore, like I just became a fan of Star Wars, right? Because I started watching The Mandalorian, and I've seen Star Wars before, but I wasn't really a big fan of Star Wars, right?
Right.
I didn't become a big fan of Star Wars again until recently with the new stuff that they're coming out with. I've been enjoying that. So you could still be like, it's like when you become a fan of something, you start enjoying something, you like something, that's what I feel like. Yeah, I think all of them, there are fans. Now, how much of fans are they? Are they fans of the new stuff, the old stuff? Do they know this history? But you have to be a fan of something to want to fight for it, because otherwise, what, like, you're just jumping in the bandwagon if you
Not
don't actually care
necessarily.
about
They
it.
just a lot of it just wants to fight. A lot of it is just being fans of the culture war instead of the property.
Well, okay. When you put it like that, girl, I can't argue with you.
Like
I can't argue with
you can't be like you can't be have these hardcore fans that are fans of Star Wars, Halo, DC Comics, what else has been going on? Cowboy Bebop, He-Man, like come on now. Like at some point you got to realize a lot of it is just being a fan of the culture war. And that's okay if that's your thing. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying a
Saying it's
lot of
bad.
people
Cancel her.
No, I'm gatekeeping. No, I'm
I mean,
gatekeeping culture war.
that's akin to like if there's like a schoolyard fight going on and someone just says, "Yeah, fight," just like
Yes.
it's kind of like that. Just someone just jumping
Yeah.
in, wanting to pour the gasoline on the fire.
Drew, have you been in situations like that? Because I feel like that was a personal story.
I can neither confirm nor deny that at this time.
Let me get this super chat, guys. Not allowing men to have democracy, civil rights on Themyscira is an injustice. Oof. John Kent, Superman Jr., secret identity, realist estate agent. Okay. Well, Paradise Island is not for men. That's not a sexist thing. That's how it's always been. But okay, thank you so much, everywhere community. I appreciate it. I do think that there is a lot of like, I'm a fan of this. You've had multiple videos coming out. Just I've never seen this, but this is what's going on. I do think there are real fans out there, but to say that all of them are involved in the culture war, I think is a little silly. Like people can criticize without being a part of it. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to pick a side of this culture war in order to be a fan. You know what I mean?
How dare you? How dare you admit that you're not a true believer of the culture war, and you're sitting here and telling me no, Tristan, no, I disavow that statement.
I'm
How dare you not be an
sorry.
absolutist? How dare you not choose one side or the other? Yeah.
How dare you not pick a side?
How dare you compromise?
How dare you be a fence sitter and just watch it burn?
Where's my imaginary shotgun?
My imaginary shotgun.
Clack, clack.
Yeah, like in this. Okay, so we can talk about this a little bit. I know I don't want to bring it up too much, but why is it okay for me not to be declared a fake fan for liking
Masters of
the Universe Revelations and defending it? I was the exact same way. Like I lost hundreds of subscribers for simply enjoying the show, which was fucking insane to me because I'm not going to dislike it because it caused outrage. I think at some point you kind of just gotta enjoy what you like and ignore the bullshit tribalism.
Entitlement. Yeah, it's entitlement.
And of course, it happened to me on Twitter. I said I liked it, and then somebody who actually follows me on Twitter was like, yeah, but did you see the 80s? And I'm like, I'm not gonna see the cringy 80s. Thundercats was better in the 80s and less cringy. I would watch that all day. I can't watch
the
80s He-Man. I can't. I
right.
can't, bro.
The biggest problem with like things like that, like for example, like He-Man, Star Wars, people forget these are properties that pretty much existed before some people were even born.
Oh,
Like
for
y'all were
sure.
still swimming in your daddy's, you know what's before. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm just gonna say it because that's the truth. Like a lot of people weren't even born to enjoy these things when they first released. So it's like mostly it's a battle of like old fans versus new fans. That's that culture war. When you're dealing with stuff franchise like He-Man, things like that, that's what that culture war is. It's a battle between old fans versus new fans. Because the old fans feel like because they were around from the beginning that they have more entitlement to have commentary on the new stuff. It's like you do, and that's fine, but you also have to understand the whole goal when you're still going on with these franchises is to get new people to
Right.
become fans of it. So like what you're doing is you're kind of trying to stunt new people from coming in, which means the money for these companies are going to go dry because now you're chasing these fans away and they're not going to have enough money to continue the series you love. So it's like, shut up and let them just, they're going to have hits and misses with these properties. That's just, at this point, when you have a long ass franchise, right? That's been going on for decades.
Right.
You're going to have good ones. You're going to have bad ones. Just suck up the bad ones and wait for the good ones to come. It's like at this point, it's stupid. I find it very stupid that people complain so much about something that's so old. Like, it's great you love old Star Wars. I'm so glad that Star Wars meant so much for you. But now you're not liking the new stuff. That's also fine. Wait until they start coming out with stuff you like again. It's not the end of the world. Like the old Star Wars love you had, that those movies still exist. You can rewatch them, enjoy them, write your own stories, have fun, but it's old. Like they're trying to adapt to the new generation. So you kind of have to like either adapt with them or just wait until they kind of get the formula right. Because there's these movies that they come out with, these comic books they come out with, they're hit and misses because they're testing what works. It's about getting feedback from both sides, from old fans and new ones. They need to find a balance. And what I hate about these old fans is they're not allowing that to happen. They're not understanding these movies are crap because they're testing out new things to see what works with the old fans and what will bring in new ones. So if the old fans are super mad, they're like, okay, next time we have to change a little bit of things to make the new old fans happy. But what made the other fans, what got us new fans? Oh, this story arc? Okay, we're going to push that one. You get what I'm saying? So, sorry, I went on a little rant because this bothers me when it comes with old franchises like He-Man. Like, come on, y'all. The 80s was a different decade. Things were
My
different
dad
in
liked
the
the
80s.
80s, and
Right, like
I
the
asked him if
80s,
he liked the
70s.
newer one.
Right, it's like the newer one, the new He-Man, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Did it have some problems story-wise in the second season
Of
for me
course.
personally? Of course, but it was beautifully drawn. The story wasn't complete dog crap. Like, so who cares? I'm sorry He-Man fans want to see the same crap they saw in the 80s. Well, I'm sorry, you're not going to get it. The 80s is over. We're in 2022. Deal with it. I'm just
I
going to
asked
say
my
it.
father if he liked it because a lot of the older fans weren't liking it so much, and he's like, "Yeah, I loved it. It's so much action." And I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, like which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the this one or do you prefer the 80s one?" And he's like, "Well, due to nostalgia, he likes the 80s one, but he also still really likes Revelations." And then so people on the comment section would like what's it called, hype up Adam from the 80s and everything. And so when I told him about what they were saying, he said they're lying. And I'm like, what? And he's like, Adam was a wimp. He did nothing. He always ran away from a battle. And that's why I like this Adam. He has a lot more courage than the one from the 80s. And he would tell me stuff from his memory of what happened in the 80s. And I'm like, oh man, Adam's a big wimp. He's like, yeah, exactly.
Wait, hold on, pause. I saw it in the chat. Cobra Kai is the only exception to everything I said because Cobra Kai is how you do nostalgia right.
Oh, he
Okay?
loves Cobra Kai.
Oh, Cobra Kai was literally like the very rare time I've ever seen them reboot an old series or redo like bring that is the only time. Like if these companies want to know how to bring back and keep that nostalgia alive and all that stuff, Cobra Kai nailed it. nailed it.
I've never seen it.
I
I've
still
never
have
even
to
seen
see
missing
it.
out. You
I
are
don't think
missing
I've
out.
even seen the original movie. I may have.
You watch the original, watch the series. It is incredible.
No
It is,
spoilers, guys. We got no spoilers request. But yeah, I've heard it's really good.
Oh, it's amazing, and it's like
Yes.
again, this is no spoilers, but the way they did it is they didn't do a reboot. People consider a reboot. I don't, because it's not a
No,
reboot to
it's
me.
not at all. No,
Right, they
it's
bring back the original actors, and they actually. So I think I read about it. They took a theory of Karate Kid about Johnny Lawrence and wow, now I'm brain fart because
Danny LaRusso.
Danny LaRusso, thank you. So there was a theory that came out. It was a popular theory that came out. I believe it was a video on YouTube.
Yep.
Where it said that Johnny Lawrence was actually the victim, because the story of Karate Kid is, Daniel's being bullied by these guys.
Don't they talk about that in How I Met Your Mother?
Right, but I'm saying,
I love that show.
Yeah, they came out with that theory, and that theory was so good that they turned it into a show and used that as the formula to start the show. And they bring back all of the original actors, like all of the actors from the Karate Kid. They bring them back, and that's again how you do nostalgia right, because now you're telling a good story, and they really just went with it. So that's why I think Cobra Kai is really, really good. And because a lot of people were skeptical, like, oh, they're bringing back Karate Kid, who cares? Oh my God, it's so amazing how they did it. And they use a lot of the elements from the original that really, really bring the show together. So yeah, when it comes to that stuff, franchises, that's the thing. Like Cobra Kai did it right. Sorry,
That's
I
the
love me some
exception,
Cobra
not the
Kai.
rule.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
'cause
is
like
the
you said,
exception, not the rule.
Yeah, 'cause it's not a reboot. It's a continuation of the story, but focusing on Johnny and how those events affected his life and into his adulthood, and what he's going to do to grow from his younger days. It's just
Wait,
yeah.
there's a Jackie Chan reboot? There's
They,
a
back in the
Okay.
early 2000s, they
So-
did the
Yeah, they did it with what is it? Oh, Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith,
Yeah.
played the.
Oh, they mean that one. Yo, I was so angry in the movie theater. I'm like,
Oh,
that
"Bro,
one was
why is
awful.
this Chinese and not Japanese? Why are
Well,
we learning kung fu instead of karate?
Right.
What is going on?"
Well, FYI too, just for people who are asking, I looked into it. According to Daniel LaRusso's actor, Ralph I'm going to butcher his name, Masciano.
Ralph Macchio.
Macchio. Him and the other guy who plays Johnny Lawrence, they got asked that question about about that Karate Kid movie, and they said no, because there's that movie, and then there's the Miyagi verse, which is Mr. Miyagi's story arc, and since that story didn't really have the real Mr. Miyagi or the Pat, Moriarty, so we're not gonna see Will Smith's son or Jackie Chan in in Cobra Kai anytime soon.
Maybe Hilary Swank. We may see her. We'll see what happens.
I made an actual video about that because people had some very wild theories that I just were like, that can't happen. That's not true. They're like, well, what if this character is Hilary Swank's character's daughter? I was like, no, that can't happen because the timeline won't allow it to happen.
Also, wasn't there a female one? I know I saw it on Netflix. I think
Hilary
I added
Swank.
it to my list.
What is it?
Yeah, the next
There's a-
Karate Kid with Hilary Swank.
Yeah, the next Karate Kid. I liked that one. I'm not gonna lie. I thought people really thought that was the worst one, but I liked it, and it wasn't the worst Karate Kid movie. It was decent.
Because she's a female. I'm just kidding.
She's a woman. Woman, as they say.
It's
Tristan's
woke.
like, why? How did we get from culture?
I
war
know.
now
I'm like,
Karate
I
Kid?
don't know anything about this.
I'm
gonna
so
let
sorry.
Maggie go. She's
I
good.
saw that comment, and I love Cobra Kai, so it just
Yeah,
happened.
we're talking about a subject where there's no tribalism there. There's no tribalism at all.
Right. There's no
And-
That's the weird part.
Yeah.
You're right, Drew. There's no tribalism. Nobody's fighting over the Cobra Kai at all. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, that's a good example. And
Plus, we're
I think
talking
it's
more,
rare.
so it's a plus.
I think another one of those kind of similar would be Arcane, which was really good, super
yeah.
woke, and it was pretty beloved. Like, but that doesn't have as much history, I would say, as like Karate Kid does.
I don't know what that
well,
is.
Okay, so Arcane.
You don't know what Arcane is?
You should watch it. It's a really good
It's
show.
so good.
It's so. Do you know League of Legends, Drew?
Is that a game?
Yeah,
Okay, I know
It's
of
an
it.
MMR or RPG or
it's
whatever,
a MOBA.
right?
It's a MOBA.
That MOBA.
So MOBAs are basically like strategy games where you have teams where you pick characters that have special like abilities and stuff, and you have like an objective to like take over the enemy base or things like that. But it's a very popular game. It became so popular that it became like an esport. But the thing is like that I don't think the reason why there's no culture war there is because first of all, it's based on League of Legends, which that fan base is ridiculous. But it's
Rabid.
not it's rabid. But I think also the way that the company that makes League of Legends, they do more. Like people don't really give them the recognition they deserve because they actually don't limit themselves. They took a game that became popular and they branched it into different communities because they created a K-pop group out of their League of Legends. They created characters from League of Legends and they create a K-pop group and the music's pretty
KDA, that's what it was.
Yeah, KDA.
I saw it. I loved it.
And mind you, it's not even all Korean girls. There's like a couple of American girls. So they have a cool concept there. And then they came out with Arcane. And when they came out with Arcane, they took one of the most like iconic characters and really delved deep into their lore because in the game, even though there's like back lore and story, it's one of those games where most of the story is found like in hidden, character quips and stuff like that. So they took some of the popular characters and a lot of the fan theories and speculations and just did a show to confirm some of the speculations of the characters to give those characters some spotlight. And it was done so well. The animation they chose was great. The music they chose, the artists they brought in Imagine Dragons to do the track. They really have something good there. And I think the reason why there's no culture war is because they did something that fans wanted and also that normies can enjoy. Because I've never played League of Legends. Drew doesn't know about League of Legends. I don't think Tristan played League of Legends. But we all like Arcane. So they did something right. They took normies and actually
made them. It was a sleeper hit too, I thought.
Oh yeah, it really was. That came out of nowhere. Everyone was talking about it. I was like, I didn't even see it pop up on my recommendation.
It was
the only Arcane I know is Anton Arcane from Swamp Thing. That's the only one I know.
No, it was honestly the most requested show I have had in the history of my channel ever. People are like, you gonna review Arcane? You gonna review Arcane? I'm like, what is Arcane? Let me get this super chat, guys. Robert, thank you so much. The moment the anti-SJWs lashed at those who liked the things they declared woke, but not being SJWs, that's when they lost the plot and became no better. Oh, well, they're the exact same, just on for different. How do I say
FYI, there's no such thing as an SJW. They're all
SJWs. No, it's the word SJW and woke has completely lost its meaning.
And Nazi, all three,
and Nazi. To be fair,
yes,
Nazi, racist, homophobic, all of them are just killing it for me.
When everybody used to say grammar Nazi.
Yes.
Term thought lost its meaning. All these terms lost their meaning for me. Like people will say all these things. And I'm like, you're just using it as an insult now because it's not factual.
Yeah, it's a pejorative. It doesn't matter what you're like. I've seen a bunch of videos. I guess it would be about a few days ago when that Miss Marvel trailer came out. Like you had real fans upset that they changed the way that she's not an Inhuman anymore. She's kind of like a Green Lantern-esque character now. And the trailer to me looked really cute, but it's a kid's show. It looks like
right.
I have seen to do the expanding of her, like making her fist huge. I mean, it was only for a few seconds, but I feel like the multiple colors things just tone it down a little bit. It kind of hurt my eyes.
I mean, I have a theory. Like we talked about this on another channel before because that was something that people were complaining about. And Hans, F your face.
I had to put it up there.
Little jerk. But no, I had a theory of why they changed her powers. I think because it's a TV show. I don't really know too much about the budget for movies versus TV. I'd assume movie budgets get more money and TV show budgets don't get as much. So I feel like the reason why they did it that way is the budget, because I think it's more costly to actually animate limbs doing that. The CGI that would be required for that. I think it might have been just easier for them to do the powers that way. I know it sucks, but I think that's the main reason why they chose to change her abilities, because of the cost it would have taken them to actually make her body. And on top of that, it might, like if they even had a little budget, I think it would just look like crap. So I think it was probably easier for them to say, like, let's just give her powers that make her like Green Lantern, so she still is able to kind of express these type of powers, but not have it cost us a lot of money.
But aren't they doing a Mr. Fantastic?
Maybe, but that's where I think the budget might be going towards.
Right.
Is a Mr. Fantastic,
Or
because
they
Mr.
don't want too similar of a characters.
Yeah.
That too. That could be it as well. I mean, it could be a
But
combination
Sue's
of
gonna
both.
save him a lot of budget. You just erase her when
Right,
she
exactly.
goes invisible.
Damn, Bianca said erase Zeus. Wow.
Robert said, Chillmonger said, not mad at the new powers equals not a fan. And that's what I mean when I brought that up, is because you had a lot of real fans upset that there was a change in powers. They were like, this isn't comic book accurate. I'm not happy with how they changed it. And then you had the other side going, it's woke. Like, it overshadows real criticism of fans that really like her comic books going, hey, I wanted the Kamala Khan I know and love. And I think it damages shit, because we can't have nice things when everybody's bitching the same thing over and over again. And let me get a super chat from Dan here. Thank you so much. I have a feeling the tables are turning with Marvel and DC movie wise. I think we're gonna get a lot of good from both. I think just being a DC fan in general, I'm like, we've got Black Adam coming. We've got a great Batman. We've got this. But like, yeah, Marvel stuff. Like Moon Knight looks really good. But from my understanding, it's not in the MCU. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Wait, what about She-Hulk and Miss Marvel?
She-Hulk's gonna be awesome. I love She-Hulk as a character.
Yeah, that's in the Marvel universe, because they've said Bruce Banner is going to be in that. So yeah.
And
so does that mean Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Moon Knight are not going to be in the MCU?
No,
I'm okay with the live action Iron Fist that we got not being in the MCU. I'm okay with that change.
I think She-Hulk, in my opinion, I'm glad they're introducing her finally. Like, she's not gonna lie, She-Hulk's so much better than her predecessor, in my opinion. Like, I'm not a huge Hulk fan, especially
I was gonna say, who's the predecessor?
Well, I just mean who she named after, her cousin. Like, I don't know. Is it just me, or is it Mark Ruffalo? Because like, Hulk hasn't been that great in the MCU.
Blasphemer.
So there's okay.
He's
when
had
I
moments.
talk about different,
he's had moments.
Yeah, he's had moments.
I like Mark as the Hulk.
I'm just not a Hulk person. That's
I'm
what
not
it is.
either,
Let's
but
be
I
real.
think Mark. I like Mark's Hulk.
I think it's because he hasn't had his own movie due to the whole Universal whatever to flesh out his character, so he has to rely on the Avenger movies and the Thor movie.
That's true too. I think that probably is what hinders him a little bit with as far as his character as Hulk. But I loved it when I saw him in the first Avengers movie. Oh my god, he was hilarious. I loved him. He's actually, I like his Hulk. Please don't take Mark Ruffalo away.
I did like seeing his. If you look closely, when he's on the deck of the Shield helicarrier, he's touching his hands nervously. I'm like, there we go. That's a good Bruce Banner like nervousness right there. Something we don't normally see in the past actors who played Bruce Banner. It's like I was really hoping we would have gotten like a Steve Buscemi playing him, but hey, that's just me.
I wonder which personality of Jennifer they're going to be using. Not She-Hulk, but Jennifer. Like, are they going to do the first appearance with the Stan Lee as created by Stan Lee one from back in the day? Or are they going to use the Dan Slott personality or the John Byrne personality, which I think it's already similar to Dan Slott's personality.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Dan
Slott is a little bit more open.
They could just make Jennifer's personality like Tristan's and it'll be good.
Oh,
Tristan for She-Hulk.
So the first appearance then.
Yes, Tristan for She-Hulk. I want this to happen. Tristan can be She-Hulk.
That works for me. I'll be totally okay with that. So one thing I wanted to ask you guys when it comes to this whole situation, because I know I got a lot of backlash isn't the word, but a lot of people didn't agree with my take. I've always said when it comes to different properties, if like You can criticize it, but there's nothing wrong with saying it wasn't made for you. And I know a lot of people hate that. Membership message. 1 second, I'm sorry. It doesn't show up on my actual thing here.
I have to get you on to Stream Elements because Stream Elements will show you in the chat if you have a membership thing. Yeah,
I need to figure it out.
Yeah, I can help you with that.
Amalgam. Thank you. Membership for 7 months. Thank you so much. Immortal Hawk is the best Hawk run.
I gotta disagree with that. I'll disagree.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
Maestro.
Very
yes, Peter David's the Peter David's Maestro run he's doing right now, and Peter David's stuff in the 90s, in the 80s with Dale Keown on the art, and Gary Frank and Liam Sharp. Yeah, it's hard to top. And before that, Tom McFarlane. It's hard to top those runs.
Yeah. Oh, Definitely. But what I was gonna say was, do you think that's a valid thing to say?
Yes.
It is not made for you.
Yes.
Like, I don't understand the backlash with it, but clearly if you look at stuff like Big Bird, that's not fucking made for me. Like, and not every comic book or comic book related media, movies, the MCU, the DCEU, the DCAU, clearly not everyone has to be made for me. There's different target demographics. So saying that's not made for, it's not made for me or it's not made for you. Why is there so much backlash with that saying when it's legitimately real?
No. I would say devil's advocate. I would say it's probably, I could be wrong. People want to give these companies their money, but these people may feel like they're giving them a reason not to give them their money by doing that.
I'm gonna disagree, mainly because, like I said, there is, like Kristen said too, there's a target, right? When they're coming out with these things, there's a target, and like I explained earlier, they have to cater to the fans, and they also need to get new people. So they have the fans and the normies that they're trying to cater to. Now again, it depends on what their main priority is on what they're working on. So say they're making a movie on Batman, right? They already know the Batman fans are going to watch it regardless because they're already in it for that anyways. The whole thing now is like they need to get new people to come in. They already know the fans are coming. They need to get new people. So they might focus on doing something for the new people. And that is their target. And like somebody said in the chat, I went marketing. It's about marketing. So that's what people don't understand. And they take it personal and say, well, it wasn't made for you. Well, I'm a fan and it was made for me. So my opinion matters. Like, no. You're already going to see it, right? That's they don't care. They know they already have their dedicated fans who are going to come. So like, this is more to get the other people to come. That's what they're doing. They're trying to add more fans. So no, it's when people get offended by that term, because they do it with me too. I'll say all the time, well, maybe it's not made for you. It's not meant for you. Well, what the? I'm a gamer, and no, it doesn't matter.
Not
yes,
everything.
you're a gamer. Right.
Yeah.
Everything's not for just you. Like, you're a fan already. That's why they know this. They're trying to get more fans. It's a business at the end of the day.
I think to add to that, looking at like some of what has caused outrage, that you've got like I'm Not Starfire or Gotham High. Those things are clearly not made for regular comic book fans.
Not made for me at all.
No. Yeah. But it's like you get this, oh my god, DC Comics is so woke. Did you see I'm Not Starfire? That's made for a YA audience. Why is this an issue? And I think a good one to mention here would be like, okay, Drew, you read everything, right?
That's right.
Everything. And there are books that I yell at my TV because you don't like. No, I'm just kidding. Like specifically recently, you haven't liked the Teenie Howard Catwoman run, right?
Yes.
I love it. That book was made for me. At this point, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's getting better, in my opinion, than what we got from Ram V. But it's also... I know it's a bold statement. Ram V's one of my favorite writers ever. But it is the Catwoman that is independent completely from Bruce, which is cool with me. It is the Catwoman that is sexy, seductress, goes over the top. It is I am that target demo. At the end of the day, to say it's not made for you, that's why you don't like it, is that offensive to you?
No, I don't get. I'm not offended by that at all. It's like I'm going to continue to read it. Hopefully, I can find something to like. I'll say
Right.
the past issue, it was probably the better of the issues so far. I actually did kind of like
Yay.
it. A few things. Look. If you're a character and you haven't been in Gotham for the previous catastrophes, and you're lecturing vigilantes on what they can and can't do, no, you have no right to say anything. I'm sorry.
Onyx?
Yes.
Oh, hell no. Onyx is like,
no, see, that's
what?
where Catwoman should have been like, where were you? Where were you for the jokes and riddles? Where were you for the City of Bane? Where were you for all of this? You can't.
I mean, yeah, but like, she's still Onyx. Doesn't change what she's been through previously.
Okay, but I would have liked Catwoman to like step up to her with like
To
really?
kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, I get it. I get that. I do. I think it was also a good excuse to bring Onyx back and make, fans happy when it comes to that. Because it really didn't serve a whole bunch of a purpose. Let's be real. But it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, if you're a fan. Yeah.
Well,
but sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think when it comes down to, it's like, you can't make everybody happy. Like,
Right.
No, you really can't. No.
Right. Like, even if you listen to one mob, it's like there's always gonna be another mob. So it's like it doesn't matter. So like it's like these companies, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. So that's why when I look at these things, like Cowboy Bebop, perfect example of a show that, like, especially with the anime fans, and Bianca can attest to this, like, there were a lot of people mad. And I was like, listen, I'm gonna give it a chance because, like, it's the first time, and it looks like they got the original music composer in, and like they had some feedback from the creators. I was like, I'll give it a chance. And granted, it wasn't the best, but it was not the worst, in my opinion. And I actually liked some of the changes that they made because it was like something that could excel the story. Because if you know Cowboy Bebop, it ended kind of on a thing that, like, some fans were just like, that kind of sucked. So it's like they did something different. I mean, it could have been much better, sure, but I enjoyed it. But, hardcore fans, they just, can't please everyone. They did a lot that they could with what they were working with. And it's like, doesn't matter. Fans there's always gonna be somebody, another mob, that's gonna be mad. So it's like, why cater to the mob? Just put out your thing. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what you have to change, and there you go.
Yeah. And I gotta ask because I didn't finish it. Was it better than the Death Note one?
Oh yes!
Oh my gosh!
That Death Note movie was like that. I don't know who in their right mind looked at that script and greenlit that project.
Okay, so real quick with the Death Note, is that the one where Willem Dafoe played the voice of the?
Yes.
The guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so bear in mind, I never watched the anime. I saw the movie and I kind of liked it. I'm like, this is pretty cool. I like this idea.
I think that's what they were going
anime,
for.
then.
They were trying that was an example of them trying to cater to the normies a lot more than the fans.
Okay.
Like, that was 100% them. 100% for the normies, nothing for the fans. And the biggest thing I can say that the change that a lot of people are mad at, if you ever get a chance to watch the anime, I think you should, if you're especially into like that kind of like thriller, like mystery type stuff. It's a really good show. The biggest difference that really pissed off fans was the main character's change. The character in the anime was very smart, and it was kind of like his story arc was mainly like kind of giving you that whole concept of like a gray area. Like, he was killing bad people, only criminals, and that was like the moral gray area. Like, you wanted to cheer for him because you, at the same time, like, killing bad people seemed like a justified cause, but then you find out like maybe it's not, because you're still killing people. So he was a very smart character, and he had a very logical moral reason why he was doing it. Where in the Death Note movie we got, that character was only shown that he was smart once by like, hey homie, you want to do my homework for me? And that was like, that was his way of saying, oh yeah, he's a smart guy. But then the main reason why he was doing what he was doing in the movie was because he was trying to get laid. And it was like the weirdest thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the basic of the movie. He was smart one time, and then he met a girl who thought it was hot that he was killing criminals and giving them justice, and he just kept doing it because every time he did it, he was getting laid. And we're like,
oh my god,
that is not the story of Death Note, bro. Like
Oh,
they
so,
missed.
okay. Never mind that.
Yeah.
I guess that was.
Yeah,
It
you
wasn't.
will absolutely love
Yeah.
the anime.
If you watch
It's
the
the best
anime, dude.
anime ever for me.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately
agree.
for me, my anime tastes are just very different. Like I watched all of the Cowboy Bebop and the movie, and I thought it was fine. Like it wasn't my thing. Apparently, I was more interested in the intro than the actual show. But I can tell it's a very good show. But it was also the same with Death Note. It was just something that didn't grab my attention very much.
Let me get these super chats real quick. Sorry, guys. Dan, thank you so much. This is why manga and anime perfect timing is so big. Every anime is already known not to be for everyone, but women still read Naruto and men still read Host Club. And yeah,
Yay!
they have their classifications, right? Yeah, and they know what they're shooting for. But it also, if you're looking at it from that perspective, you got to look at it and be like, well, not everybody's going to enjoy every comic either. The entitlement isn't upon the companies. The entitlement is upon the fans. Not
Right.
everything needs to cater to you. And I get that. Yeah, there's certain animes like I got Attack on Titan. Oh my god. and Bianca warned me about the art, and I looked at it and I'm like, I can handle this. And I'm like, I can't handle this. It's so bad. But I'm a comic book fan. I always will be a comic book fan, and that's where my art taste lies with,
It's funny because after 100 chapters, the manga art actually gets a little bit better, but it's still trash.
It only takes 100 chapters.
So
Roger,
There's
you were
always
super
100
chat.
chapters where they start improving, but it's
Oh my
still
goodness.
trash.
So I told Tristan. So I typically buy American when it comes to American comics. I just I read, and I just told Tristan. I actually got the first hardcover of Berserk. Yeah. So I've never read.
What was that? I need you to repeat.
Berserk. He got Berserk.
Yeah. So I've never read it before. So I'm actually starting to read that.
Oh, you're gonna love Berserk. Berserk's
I only watched the movies.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, so I started reading the first few pages, and like the first page, I'm like, what the shit is going on here? Yeah, so I'm hoping if this keeps up, I'm really gonna enjoy this. So
one thing I will tell you, if you're trying to get into anime, the best advice for like newcomers I say is like, keep in mind a lot of the stories like because if you don't understand Japanese culture, sometimes you won't understand what's going on in certain scenes because it's referencing Japanese culture, and that's basically it. Because like Japanese culture has some things for us, it's weird.
Yeah.
But if you understand the history and culture behind it, it makes more sense. But like a perfect example, like I know this is games related, but like Hideo Kojima is a very, very, very good storyteller. But a lot of his stories are very weird, but they're also very politically driven. So it's like he always tries to find a unique way of telling a political story in a way that, like, on the surface, you don't understand what's going on. But if you actually really think about it, it's like it's all political stuff. And it's like Japan has a really good track record of telling very interesting agenda stories without it being too obvious it's an agenda story.
Unless it's something like Prison School or like there's these main female characters and they just like hate guys. Like take an extreme hate that they'll beat them up for no reason most of the time. Luckily, they do get some punishment for it, and I didn't expect that.
That sounds pretty fun to watch from my perspective, but yeah. Okay.
Let me get this other super.
No, Japanese live actions are not amazing. They all suck too.
The Death Note one was good.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them? Oh, okay.
Sorry. Let me get the super chat, guys. Here's the thing. Old fans are always going to hate change. Look at the post-crisis Superman. Pre-crisis fans hated it. Mark Wade. But look at it now. Yeah, and
really?
Go ahead.
I don't know about that. Really? I don't really remember people hating it that much. I mean, I need to go back.
I didn't even pay attention. I didn't read it.
I hate it, and I don't even know what it is, and I hate it.
That's right. I think we're naturally going to try to hold as close to what we love and keep it from changing. But I also think there's an inevitability with it, right? You have to accept that they're trying to open it up for another fan, or a bigger fan base. And I have no problem with that. Like, one way that they do it and change it to live action is comics were very white for a long time, so they will race swap stuff. There's a lot of characters you cannot do that to, and we've had this conversation on this channel a million times, but it's one way they change stuff from print to screen to open it up to a bigger audience. Is it the right way to do it? I don't know. That's up to you to
No.
decide.
No.
But a lot of people are for it. A lot of people don't give a shit. Normies don't give a shit. And that's your 90%. That's your, well, maybe not 90, we'll say 80. That's your 80% right there when it comes to big screen TV, big theatrical releases, or even stuff like Peacemaker. People like Drew that are really into characters like Vigilante aren't gonna like it. Vigilante was never one of my favorite characters, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Peacemaker is life and love and everything that is holy.
Yeah, so like you just said it right. I'm a big fan of the Paul Kupperberg run of Vigilante back in the 80s, and that this is not my character, and I just know, hey, it's not for me. I just won't watch it. And if you guys like it, that's cool. You love it, awesome. It's not for me. I'll read the comics.
I hate
Has Drew talked about his love for the Tom Taylor Nightwing run yet?
Ooh.
Hey, look, the previous issue was not bad. I actually liked the previous issue this week, or the past week.
What's weird to me when it comes to that is I am so sick of justifying what I like. And that sounds stupid, but if I'm reading something at night and I like it, I'll post a couple panels and say, this was good. But I still always do like my top 5 of the week. Because I cannot handle the amount that Drew
can
does.
Somebody highlight can you highlight a comment for me? If you scroll down, there's one called Bakura 23, and he's writing something that I told you on an email before.
Oh, he's in my chat, Bakura. Hi, Bakura. Shout out to Bakura. Shout out to my chat, by the way. Y'all been killing my chat.
Yes, that's what you were just telling me yesterday. Or
they
the
redubbed
yesterday.
it? I didn't know they redubbed it. I gotta check it out, because I was telling Tristan about this line when she asked me about prison school, and I didn't know anything about Gamergate, so I had to repeat that line so many times. I'm like, what the heck did she say? And then I saw a review, and they're like, oh, Gamergate, and I'm like, what the frick is Gamergate? But I'm glad they changed it, because the Japanese version made her seem like such a boss, and I hated that they changed it, not because of the whole Gamergate thing, but just because they changed that one line. Some other lines they changed in that show, because it was one of the simulcast dubs they were doing, where they do dubs really, really fast. I was fine. Listen, if you want to call the 3 and Scott, Logan, and Jean, and they're having like
I think that's cute.
With those 3,
that they changed
I
it
love
that.
I'm sorry, I did love that.
Yeah, I think that's cute. Yeah, we were just talking about that. That's too funny. But what I was saying was, like, I hate. So you've got these people that are so tribalistic that they think I lie about my likes. Like, I posted, I really like Nightwing. I really like this run. I love Bruno Redondo's like clean, crisp art. It's so good. I love the way that he did the I think it was 87. Right? Where he's going, it's one continuous panel. He's doing things, he's taking chances, and I love it. I posted it on my community post, and I've got people telling me that I like it because apparently the anti-SJWs don't. I'm like, make this make sense for me. I didn't know, for one, that anti-SJWs didn't like Nightwing. I didn't know that. And apparently,
I'm surprised you didn't know that. But I'm on Twitter, so they hate everything.
I didn't know that either. And honestly, I haven't really cared for it that much, because he's really still, I don't know how many issues into Nightwing. He hasn't really wrapped up the first story arc at all.
I believe they started hating it because of the whole sister thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no, not the sister thing, the rich thing, the money thing.
Oh.
Well, I can understand the stepsister thing, because the timeline of that, how for those events to have happened,
it's a little,
it's very narrow, very, very, very narrow.
It was handled better than Bendis in Leviathan, the event Leviathan.
Tristan, didn't you hear?
Never speak about that.
Didn't you hear, Tristan?
What's that?
We're fake fans of these things. We're not
Oh,
real
God.
fans. We're fake fans. We're not real fans. How dare you? How dare you lie to your audience?
It's so
Shame,
weird to me.
Sean,
Why would I
Sean.
dedicate so much time on my channel or
Because you're a
reading or
grifter.
Clickbait.
calling me a
Anime
grifter
has
is
gay and
so
lesbian
ironic.
characters, and they're very seen without saying they're gay. Well, that's because they're literally groping each other and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know?
yeah.
I'm kidding, Tristan. You're not a grifter, but it's
Oh,
funny.
I know.
It's funny when people say that because it's like, so basically what we're getting is a bunch of people crying that there are other people who they deem not worthy to talk about
Yes.
things they like, and they're gatekeeping.
Yep.
It's just a big gatekeep. Like, you don't want people who are outside of your bubble to talk about things you like, and you're gatekeeping us. Well, guess what? You can't get. Listen, we are not
Yeah.
the bitches to gatekeep.
The
We'll
funny
break
thing
the
about
gate down.
the weird thing about the grifter thing, it blows my mind because like I've never asked anyone in my audience anything. I never I have a Patreon and stuff. I don't plug it. I don't do any of those things. I could very easily make videos about, I don't know what's going on right now, Halo or stuff like that, but I'm not going to make videos on stuff I'm not interested in. I don't like Halo. I didn't think it was a very great game. I know you did.
Wanna see you
It's not the
Wow.
game for me.
Tristan's
So I'm not
breaking my
going to
heart.
sit here and make videos on it. I could very easily doing that. But my specialty, what I love, is comic books. So if you come to my channel, I'm going to every once in a while talk about pop culture, but it's likely, ironically enough, you're going to get comic books. Like, it's not that hard. Let me get this super chat real quick. Thank you so much, Dan. 2000s nostalgia is also huge because of this BS. People want a simpler time when there was no culture war. Look at how Avril's new album sells. Avril Lavigne, does she have a new album?
Does she?
Thank
I don't
you,
know who that
Dan.
person is.
Bianca, are you kidding me?
What?
Bianca, did you not hear Skater Boy? Are you serious?
I'm not good with names. If I hear the
I
song,
was
I
a
most
skater
likely will
girl.
know.
He was a skater boy. I
Oh,
don't
is that
want
the
to get you
song?
copyright
Yes.
claims. Yes.
Oh, well, now I know.
My goodness.
I'm not going to remember the name.
Dang,
I mean, you're not
Lavigne.
really missing out, in my opinion, but
Also, I
guess
plugged in my
people like
PayPal. Hey, thanks for reminding
that's
me.
right.
Kristen.
Perfect time to do it too. It's such a bad criticism when it comes to certain people. Like, there are obviously grifters out there that are making absolutely so much money off the culture war. They make money by making people mad by calling things woke or calling things racist. You've got it on both sides. And that is why I wanted to bring up today, because that is, in a way, very much so censoring the current stuff we get. Like, people are afraid to do something racist or to do something woke that it's going to lead to amounts of backlash. So we get very milk toast comic books.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a solution to it besides not giving a fuck and ignoring those people.
Right.
That's the best option. Yeah,
they don't want to risk back. They don't want to risk a riot. So, like I said, back in the day, it was cool to be rebellious and do things that got reactions. Now, not so much, because the reactions are way too overwhelming. They're scared now because they want money, and what they want is people to be happy. They don't want outrage money. But I think we're gonna we're gonna start seeing that there are a lot of people who are kind of getting a little pissed off about people complaining about stuff all the time. So when they start taking these risks, they're gonna start getting more money, because now we're seeing an age where, like, okay, it's not okay to be edgy anymore. We're gonna go back to those times where it's okay to be edgy again. It's just right now we're in that era. The era of edginess is not funny. Edginess is, you can't make dark jokes anymore because it's offensive. We're gonna go back to the things where we can tell dark jokes again and people can chill the F out.
When?
Soon, right? Soon, I hope.
I know. Let me get this super chat, guys. Everywhere community. Liana K on her video thanked Anita Sarkeesian for her different views. But Liana K said all people have to use respectful disagreements. And that's right. Thank you so much, everywhere community. Liana's awesome, for one. We gotta say that. I love Liana. She's great. but she's also very good at, there are respectful ways to criticize. There are respectful ways to look at something and go, this was made for me and this isn't good because, the writing is bad or this is bad or the art was bad or something like that. But going into something going, I hated this book because it's woke is a fucking lazy criticism. I hated this book because it's racist is a fucking criticism or lazy criticism. Tell me why. What was wrong with it? But we don't get, like, there are, to be fair, there's a lot of channels that do a good job at doing these kinds of things. I'm not saying that. But the majority of them are just screaming into a camera saying these things are bad without an actual reason, or using like fabricated numbers. Like, you get a lot of the manga versus comics stuff a lot. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, manga is selling really good. That doesn't mean that comics can't also be doing well. What is your point here? And I think it's very easy to construe an argument either way. Like, for a long time you've gotten the comics were either always political or never political. I could literally make a video on both, proving both arguments. I could go back to political issues and make a video and be like, look, he punched Hitler, we did this, Ronald Reagan's here, da da da. Or I could make a video and be like, look, this is all about escapism and fun and da. You can construe things however you want. But at the end of the day, if all you're doing is construing it for a narrative, then what the fuck is your point? Do you get what I mean? Am I being too mean about it?
No, you're not. But here's the thing. I think, Tristan, me and you are living proof of how we could have respectful disagreements.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly.
Like it's not that
Don't we
deep.
disagree on something?
Right? Holy crap, me and Tristan can disagree on stuff and still be on each other's channels and talk to each other like normal human beings. Oh my God, the irony.
Yeah, same. Yeah, Tristan, there's titles that you love that I don't care for, yet I'm still here.
Right. It's like, I don't understand why people aren't understanding that you have a panel of people here who, regardless if, like, we're gonna disagree on things. Like, it's inevitable. Like, we all have our own personalities, our own likes and dislikes. We're going to disagree. We have our own different personalities. Now, sometimes maybe some people's personalities are just not compatible, right? And that's
Right.
that's fair. But like, our personalities are compatible enough where even our disagreements doesn't ruin our relationships with one another. And that's what the problem is with culture wars. Like, you have a bunch of people who aren't willing to talk and actually get to know each other to fully understand what they mean. Like when me and Tristan, not to go back to it or bring it up because it's not but it's a good comparison. When me and Tristan were doing our little funny reaction videos of each other, right? We know each other. Okay, so like, we talk to each other and we have a respect for each other where we can feel comfortable criticizing each other's opinions without it making it feel like Tristan's attacking me or I'm attacking her. That is the problem with all of this, is that people don't take the time to really try to understand where each other's side is coming from. So they'd rather just scream at each other until somebody bends the knee or just disappears. So that's what it is. Nobody ever on the internet wants to take time to get to know somebody and be like, I want to understand why you feel this way. Like Drew, I just met Drew. Drew, I want to understand why you don't like the thing I like, because I don't want to fight with you. I just want to understand your perspective. That's it. That's what it should be. But again, we're living in a world on the internet where nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it because they just want to be right. They just want you to agree with them. And it's like, it's just never going to happen. If you're going to push somebody to try to agree with you, you're going to get pushback and they're never going to agree with you.
Exactly. Let me get this real quick. Dan, thank you so much. Twitter needs to die, period. Yes.
Yes. No, it doesn't need to die.
Yes, it is cancer.
I need it to promote my channel because YouTube sucks and it doesn't do it for me. 90% of the people that find out I'm live streaming is because I posted on Twitter. I need Twitter right now.
I think your channel's shadow banned. I'm not going to lie.
It probably is.
The reason I say so is because when I go to look you up to put you in the description, right? Make sure you guys subscribe. Everybody's in the description. I can type your channel name. All right, like say I type Comics Elite. All I have to do is type in CO and it comes up. I have to type your entire thing out and it never saves like the previous entry. I think I think you need to look into it because I'm not kidding. I think you're shadow banned.
I probably am. All the stuff that I post on my con channel, I probably am. I wouldn't be surprised if they shadow ban my ass.
Like, it's really weird because I've typed your channel a couple times this week just because I'll not get your stuff. So
That's
when I type
weird.
it a couple times in a row, it should come up in the, like the pre-filled thing. It doesn't. Only for you though. And it's really weird. I meant to tell you about that through email and I totally forgot. So I'm glad we brought that up.
How do you tell if you're shy? There's got to be a website, right?
There's got to be something.
I'll look it up.
Oh, Tristan's
Yeah.
already not on Twitter, so
Yeah, Twitter. No fucking way. That place is a cesspool full of
It's the Mos Eisley
arguments.
Cantina. It's the Mos Eisley Cantina of electronics.
I follow a lot of comic people on there, so like
I get if you're doing it for that. Like, but a lot of people just go on there to argue. And it's like one person can say one opinion about, I don't know, Batman. And there will be 4 or 5 different videos made saying Batman was attacked. But it's just an opinion, dude. Calm down. Like, it makes a lot of people
like that one poll.
One poll.
I was talking about it with Liana on my stream. It's somebody, freaking company named GameSpot made a poll to see which one was better, the Dark Knight movie or the Robert Pattinson, the Batman movie. And I'm like, that's the most dumbest thing you can do. Because first of all, the Dark Knight is the second movie, the sequel, while the Robert Pattinson Batman, the Batman, is literally the first movie. How are you going to compare the first movie to a second movie just because it's dark? Sorry, that doesn't work. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't. And you're also, when you post polls like that, it also depends on your audience, right? Like, if I
but of course
post
the Dark Knight fans won because that's the Dark Knight.
Yes.
Also, not a lot of people saw the Batman either, so
I think quite a few people saw it. At least it's doing pretty good in the box office.
It is, but I guess it also depends what theater you are. Because for my theater, they just charge me $5 every day for tickets, so that's not to get the money going,
Wow, that's
but if I
really
go to the one in the other area where the tickets are freaking expensive, like if you go to a regular theater versus IMAX, the money and how much it goes to the box office makes a crap ton of difference.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy cheap. I would be going to movies all the time. Oh, no, I don't want to. Nah. But anyways, that's a lot of time. I would much rather read a book. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But like, when it comes to this whole idea, I don't know. And my issue is everybody's screaming at the wall, right? But nobody's trying to make it better. I'm being hyperbolic. Obviously, there's channels out there like Perch and like Cartoonist Kayfabe, people trying to suggest things. There are channels out there, but like, how do you go about constructively criticizing somebody that's been on the regular attack? So, for example, Amazon attacks. I'm not a big Vita Ayala fan. I don't necessarily like a lot of their work. I didn't mind some of Static, but the first 2 issues of Amazon Attacks.
Oh, Trial of the Amazons.
Trial of the Amazons. I'm sorry. Oh my God, Amazon Attacks is that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But
Casually Comics is great.
Casually Comics is awesome. I love her.
Awesome.
But like, so Vita gets so much hell. How do I do a review of something like that without making them feel attacked? You see what I mean? Like, a lot of people go and call her names, call her what's it called? What is it? A token hire or something like that? Or diversity hire. So how do you, even in that sort of situation when you're trying to be sincere, how do you go about something like that?
You just go at the story. Like when we review our stuff, we go at the story, and if the story's not good, we're going to call it the story. It just don't make it personal. It's not personal. It's business. Just go after the comic itself. If it's good or not. And unfortunately for her, she hasn't grown as a writer. She really hasn't. And
Hey,
you would think she would have learned her lesson after like the trial of Magneto, or I think she was involved with that. I'm thinking Leah Williams. But
I know they did a lot of, what was it, the Children of the Atom
yeah, there's another one. Yeah, just there's really been no growth in her writing skills.
and the guns. Okay, I got the guns is weird to me. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I see a new panel for an upcoming issue. Like,
It's so bad.
what is going
Sorry.
on here?
It's so bad. Like the first two issues were okay. Wonder Woman, that issue, that tie-in, totally lost it for me. I was like, I can't take it. I'm trying to be nice here. But oh my God. Wonder Woman is a character that I have loved for so long. Why do I hate her right now? Like, Nubia, what'd you do to Nubia? Oh, it drives me crazy. Dan, thank you so much. I love edgy stuff because I'm part-time goth. And I think, thank you so much, Dan. I think another thing is a lot of people that are looking for something different need to go to the indies.
Yeah,
What
well,
happened with
indies
there was
are
a
amazing.
person who reviewed the movie Turning Red? What did he say? I didn't hear about this.
What's going on?
Huh?
Oh, I was looking at Shelby's comment. He said,
Oh.
okay, but at the same time, why can't they extend that courtesy to people like the guy that reviews Turning Red? They attacked him because he's white. And I'm like, I gotta know the context. So
Yeah, I don't know the context either. But
because
like,
they can attack somebody for somebody because they're white, depending on the context.
I acknowledge thank you, comics and Phoenix. Acknowledge Vita as a top tier writer, then go in. That's a good way to do it. Like they're obviously selling.
I can't say top tier. That's not happening.
I don't look at them as top tier talent.
No.
Now, as far as sales, it might be different, but when I think of top tier talent in the industry right now, I'm going to the Rom V's or the Jeff Lemire's of the world, right? But it's also, again, we're talking about subjectivity. So it's such a weird thing. Like, Turning Red was really weird, but then again,
I loved
Shelby.
it.
No, I mean not the movie, like the criticism of it. Like a lot of people were mad that it was about a girl getting her period. Like, what are we for?
Teen Wolf. I thought it was a Teen Wolf movie.
I don't think it's a Teen Wolf movie, is it, Bianca?
Maybe it can be a Teen Wolf movie.
I don't know nothing about it. I just seen the backlash with like,
but nobody gets
people
bitten.
mad about it.
Oh,
the context. Okay, here
there is a kaiju fight at the end. You know, you gotta love kaiju fights.
The context is that he didn't relate to the movie because he isn't a teenage Asian girl, and he specifically said, "Hey, I can't relate to it, but I will review it in my opinion." And they deleted him. How can you delete somebody? That doesn't.
I don't know. I got quiet because you had me thinking, and I'm 100% sure you're right. I am Shadow Band.
I told
that's
you.
I went in
I didn't mean to be the bearer of bad news. Don't kill the messenger.
I was sitting there. I was like, what did she talk about? Then I was like, oh, I see what she's saying, because when you I typed in Nerdette's newsstand, and as soon as I typed in Nerdette, boom, it popped up. And then you type in my name, and you have to type in the whole thing. Yes, I'm Shadow Band. Damn it, YouTube!
I know. I started to notice it. Like, I was like, I gotta tell her. There's got to be something you can do. I don't know what, but
I'll contact the YouTube thing.
Like, as far as that Turning Red stuff, Shelby, I think you're using hyperbole. You got to look at people individually, because you say, they say, they say, they say. We can't keep looking at everything like A versus B or B versus C. It just, they deleted his review. Well, that's up to his employer. I mean, that's all you can say about that. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid, but I swear to God, I need to make merch that says about capitalism, because guess what, Shelby? That's capitalism for you. Like,
well, I mean, this movie is a metaphor for a period, but she doesn't get her period. I thought she totally did. No, there's a joke in the beginning. Her mother asks, "Did the red peony bloom?" Which is like a red flower, and she's like, "I don't know, maybe." And so her mom is like trying to help her with all that stuff. I didn't know I was supposed to take B vitamins when I get it, and I'm like, shoot, I've been doing everything wrong. Uh, but it turns out that's not it. She just turns into a red panda, which you get when you get older, go through puberty. But for her, it just happened a little bit earlier than usual. But the thing is, you're not supposed to relate to her because she's an Asian, or she's a girl, or she's 13 years old. You're supposed to relate to her because she has all these friends with different personalities. She has a mother who's too hard on her and very, very strict, that she won't let her go out with friends. I can relate to that. I wasn't allowed to go out with friends, that they didn't want you to listen to a specific type of music or something like that. That's the stuff you're supposed to relate to, not that because she's Asian or she's 13 or because she's a girl. So when I hear, how am I supposed to relate to an Asian 13-year-old girl, I'm like, oh, I can relate to Superman wanting to be good, and he's from Krypton, and he's like in his freaking 30s or 40s or whatever.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? If you can relate to an Kryptonian alien, how can you not relate to this character? Not this girl, not this 13-year-old, not this Asian, but this character. And like, so it makes no sense to me. People are like, oh my gosh, Pixar, this freaking
Wait.
Flynn from A Bug's Life, so freaking relatable or whatever. And I'm like, you can relate to an ant?
Wait. People were mad because I never understood this whole this controversy around this movie, and I was like, it sounded like everyone was mad that it was a story about a little girl getting her period. Like, do we not? Has no one seen Big Mouth? Like, are you serious right now?
What's
I
Big
have
Mouth?
no
Yeah.
idea what Big Mouth is.
That's a Netflix
What?
show.
Oh Lord! So it's a cartoon on Netflix that pretty much is about kids going through puberty, and they have like these hormone monsters that kind of like push them to like do sex stuff, and it's very uncomfortable because they are like 13-year-olds. They show them, doing stuff like to themselves, and it makes it very uncomfortable. But it's the premise of the show is to show like highlight the horrors of us growing up in puberty, and that's relatable because we all have gone through puberty. So it like brings us back to the time where like, oh, with women, like when we have body hair or when we start getting body hair, or our first periods, or like boys when they get the first boner and things like that. Like, it makes it uncomfortable, but it's funny because they do it in comedy. I like Big Mouth. I don't care what y'all say. I like Big Mouth because it's funny, because it is something I can
Big
watch.
Mouth is good though.
Yeah, it's good. It's comedy, and again, it literally highlights all the stuff we can relate to, and it's meant to be uncomfortable because, like, when you get past that uncomfortability, you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I first got my first period, or when I first experienced sexual urges and things like that. Like, that's what the whole show's about. But like, that's why when I looked at like this whole thing, like, who cares? It's like all these things are trying to be relatable, but at the same time, it's like, I don't care if it's a story about a little girl growing up and getting a period, because like, I think a lot of women can relate to that. Men probably not. Sorry guys, but y'all's whole thing with periods is just get us chocolate and wine and run.
Oh, that reminds me. I saw a tweet of a woman who saw the movie with her son, and because of that, he had questions about puberty and periods, and so she told him, and then the little kid's like, "So that's why you're angry at me and Dad for like 6 whole days?" And she's like,
Aw,
"Yeah," and she said
that's
that.
so cute.
And she said that because of this talk, now that when the mom has her period, he makes sure the father has a supply of dark chocolate, and since he can reach the microwave, he heats up her hot water container thingy for her.
Aw.
And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
See, you can use it as a teaching moment. Like, I haven't seen the movie. It's not something like that's made for me. Oh my god, outrage. But I can see why you would want, like, to have it around to have that conversation with a little
The song
kid.
slap in the movie too.
The
There's
song
fire!
slap.
I listen to it all the time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it if it's for little kids, why are we upset about this? Like, everybody's upset about something all the time, and it's like, it's almost to a point where it's frustrating because within seconds, within minutes of people posting videos, and I won't go into specifics, but it's very easy to tell. I'll get, oh my god, John Kent's book dropped off the top 50. It's not doing as good. I'm like, chill. Oh, okay. So now I'm not allowed to like it. Gotcha. What? Oh my god. I remember when I was 4. Like, it just, it just gets to a point where it's like frustrating. Like I've gotten to the point I never censor anybody on my channel unless they are attacking people or being crude. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, yeah, you're getting a ban, or I'm deleting your comment because I'm fucking sick of it. I'm like, I want to enjoy what I want to enjoy. Maybe I shouldn't let it bother me so much, but it's like daily. It's like, all right, guys, I get it. You don't like it. You don't like John Kent. You don't like this. But I do. And that's okay. Why are you trying to like get a gotcha because it dropped to 56?
Oh, we got a question from
Okay.
Cartoons and Comics.
Let me find it here. Did you, Bianca, had a trip with your father or grandpa? I was furious because I wanted to get Final Fantasy 9. Is this the question you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. In the end was amazing, and my grandpa teach me about Polish Italian folklore.
So, my parents divorced before I was in second grade, so no. And then for my grandpa, on both sides, they only speak Spanish, so I was taught to speak only Spanish, to speak only English, so there is a miscommunication most of the time.
Mi amor.
No, I did not delete your Dr. Doom comments in the Injustice World. I didn't delete that. No, I'm just not going to justify what I like. I'm just not going to, and I probably won't. I think it's just been a frustrating few days with the comments, but it's like, I'm not going to justify what I like. I'm not going to change what I like. I hate that you have to do, and this brings us back to tribalism. I hate that you have to walk lockstep in order for people to not hate you. Like the fact that this all opening my eyes all started with The Last of Us 2. Like even before the Master of the Universe stuff, the fact that I like The Last of Us 2 was such a big deal on my channel, and I still don't understand why.
Who should give a crap? It's a work of fiction. These are fictional characters.
How dare you? They're real, Drew. You stop that, Drew. They're real people. They're real stories. It's real life, Drew. How dare you tell us otherwise?
Oh, I don't let people know of my Twitter because of the people
Drew's
who
like,
follow
who is this
me,
crazy
and
loud
then
person?
the people I follow, and it's just
You hide. Oh, gotcha. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, now that Twitter freaking shares what I like, I can like whatever I heart. I'm like, oh, I love this, and then I realize that people's whatever they heart, it can be sent to me, and I realize that whatever I hearted can be sent to other people. And I'm like, well, that's an invasion of privacy. That's why I freaking retweet if I want to, not whatever I like.
Joseph, thank
I'm
you
so
very
sorry
much.
for everybody who follows me.
You can like something if you say so. The problem with the world is that people keep looking for their neighbor's permission to be individual. Ooh.
That's I like that comment. That's
I do too. That's
you know what
right.
I don't like though? You know what I don't like though, Tristan?
What's that?
I don't like this Drew guy. He next thing you know, he's gonna tell us Santa Claus isn't real. If he tells me Santa Claus isn't real, I'm leaving.
Poor Drew.
There's certain things I won't talk about. Santa Claus is one of them. Santa Claus is no go for me. I will not talk about the big guy.
I like him. He's funny.
Yeah, I like that though. You keep looking for your neighbor's permission,
that's a shame, and that's just scary. It really shouldn't be afraid to do that.
Wow. We shouldn't need validation. Go ahead. Sorry, Bianca.
No, what? Nothing. What?
Oh, I thought you were saying something. No, we shouldn't need validation for what we like. The reason why, so I did a video on World's Finest. It was so good.
Absolutely.
It was so good. But I got, oh my God, Mark Wade. Mark Wade's super fucking talented. What do you want me to say?
Yeah,
I'm not going to.
Yeah, I mean, he has done and said some. What you will. He's stepped his foot in some stuff. All right.
Oh yeah.
More times than one, but he can write a story. He knows these characters inside and out, and he killed it. He nailed it, and he just he put on a writing clinic to a lot of writers. Like, these are how you write these characters well.
This is how you comic book.
Yeah,
That book is how you like. It was really good, and I expected it to be good, but I didn't like seeing the earmuffs, seeing the Doom Patrol in it. I was like, fuck yes, this is so cool. Like, I absolutely loved it. But you've got this weird like, we've gotten to a point where it's like, you also not only have to agree with me on pop culture, but if something happens, like, I've seen a lot of people upset that, like, when it comes to Jeff Lemire, they won't like him because he supports far left ideology. I'm like, I don't. Do you know where I'm just
no, it's like,
story?
Yeah, Tristan, when we review this stuff, Sean, Kyle, and I, we check all that stuff at the door. How good is the comic?
That's how it. That is the formula I would like to see for so many more people, because channels like yours are rare.
And thank you. We appreciate that. I mean, yeah, we try to give it be honest with our opinions and check the personal opinions of these creators at the door. How good is the story? Like you said, with Jeff Lemire, another guy, he may or may not have said some things that may have set some people off, but can he write a damn good story? Absolutely, more times than one, and he's doing great job with it recently. So, but yeah, just check all that personal stuff at the door. How good's the material?
And I think I wish a lot of people had more of that mindset, right? You're in it for the storytelling. If you're telling me over and over again, all you want is good stories, I can point you in that direction.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just waiting. I'm, like you said, we brought up Vita earlier. I'm just waiting for that one moment, for that one issue where she'll have like a Chip Zdarsky Spectacular Spider-Man come to Jesus moment where she just completely like nails it. Just, she got a character, action packed. It wrote characters how they're supposed to be. Fully kinetic issue. I'm waiting for that to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. Maybe she will someday.
No. It definitely hasn't. The first issue of Static Shock was good, but like, it felt like it started at like mediocre and then went to bad. Like, I'm just waiting, because we've even seen that issue. Oddly enough, like, Mags Visaggio, she wrote that Ginny Hex book. It was so good. It was so good.
Now she, I think it's she, right? I think, or
she, yes.
Yeah. Okay. She's unfortunately, she's stepped her foot. She's put her foot in her mouth quite a few times with stuff she said about certain creators. Quite a few times.
A few hundred.
Yeah, and she's more or less blacklisted herself for that, and she has no one to blame.
People won't even hire her now at this point for like the Pride anthologies and stuff.
No one. Yeah, no one. Because you saw what she did to Scott Snyder and Sean Gordon Murphy. It's like, they're not.
Yeah, you don't mess with Sean Gordon Murphy. No, he's amazing with fans. He's amazing in his book. He's a great writer. He's a great person. You don't fuck with Sean Gordon Murphy. Sorry, that's when I'll stand for.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Pride announcements from Marvel and DC?
Is that in general for everyone or for me?
They're both BRB. So when they get back, we'll wrap up. But I was curious while we were waiting for him to get back.
So Kyle and I did a solicitation videos and stuff for June, and we acknowledge, hey, look, it's probably not for us, most likely. But the thing that kind of got us like, what was the price? These are like $8, $9, $10, which is insane. How much they're charging for these?
These anthologies.
Yeah, like almost 10. It's like almost a trade paperback, and it's like, I'm wondering how good the content is for that money. So naturally, we're kind of curious to see how good the content is for this money, because that's not cheap. So
what bothers me more about it is, I get the money thing, but like, if it's a really good book and it's almost 100 pages, I'll spend $10. But like, why are you pushing? So the main characters in the book are John, who has his own book, Tim, who's getting a collection of his own book, Nubia, who's got her own book, and you're not including characters like Kate Kane and Midnighter and Apollo. That is, like, I know they're including Harley and Ivy, which is my favorite couple of DC. I love them. Whatever. That's you're excluding iconic
Yeah, you know what?
gay characters.
You know what would have gotten me? You know, if they had gotten, let's say, J.H. Williams to do a Kate Kane story
Oh
in the
my
DC,
God.
I would have bought it. If it had like
In a
Warren Ellis
heartbeat.
or Warren Ellis or Garth Ennis do a Midnight on Apollo story, I would have bought it in a heartbeat. But
Yes.
no, it's not happening. It's just I'm very curious to see how good the content's going to be.
Yeah, and like even I mean, if you look at it canonically, even Wonder Woman's queer or Constantine, those are main characters that you're excluding from the conversation because you want to push with Tim the retcon. You want to push those characters. I don't understand what they're thinking. And then they have like Nubia Coronation special and 4 issues with Stephanie Williams. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
No, and I really hope we tell people it's like, look, if you're not sure about it, just if you can get away with it, just try to read it in the comic book shop when no one's looking. See if it's worth please just take a good close look at it. See if it's worth your money.
I think fans would have been really excited if they would have announced a spinoff of the War World stuff with Midnighter and Apollo. I do. I think people would have eaten that shit up. Instead, we're getting Nubia, who was like literally made queer last week, from my understanding.
Yeah, with Hippolyta. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. No, wasn't it Hippolyta and Philibus?
I thought it was Hippolyta and Nubia. Or
I don't know. It was really, really weird to me. Like it was like second in charge. Are you using your power? Like what's going on? It was really strange, the whole situation. It's like the Amazon are an island of women. A lot of them are going to be queer, yes, but like not everybody is in a relationship with every other person in this little clip. It's just the whole thing's weird to me. It's not written well.
It's not a big hedonistic island, you know. Not everyone's banging.
Yes,
you know, it's not like the X-Men island, you know. So, but
is that what the X-Men island has become?
I likened it to Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, just how kind of like Nightcrawler saw it. You know, just an island with like no regrets and everyone's just having a hedonistic lifestyle.
Oh my. Oh goodness. So yeah, we are gonna wrap up, guys. But make sure in the description you guys check out everybody's channel. Drew, you said you just did your solicitations video. Do you want to tell everybody what you've got coming up and what you guys kind of do over there at Comics Elite?
Oh, yeah. So please check out our YouTube channel, comicselitecomics.com. We give our weekly reviews on Tuesdays, so you guys can get it before you go to the shop. And I've got Born of Blood number 1 is going to be coming out this week. We're going to start fulfilling that. Born of Blood number 2, we're working on that right now. And actually, Tristan, you want to share? You think we could share one of those pages from issue 2?
Yeah, go for it. Share it real quick, and we'll put it up on the screen. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys gonna get a little sneak peek into issue 2. So am I gonna hit share screen? Yeah.
Yep, just hit share screen, and I can show it.
Okay, cool. All right, share and share. Here we go. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, that's so good. I love it.
There we go. From issue 2 coming up. Working on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you show that other page or no?
I can. Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. One more. We'll do one more.
Oh my God, it's so good. Just the coloring, the way it's. Oh my! I love this page.
It's gorgeous. By the way, I went to go subscribe to Comics Elite. I'm not sure if you're aware, but you have this stream on your channel live twice at the same time.
Oh,
you paired 2 channels by accident.
Oops.
I've
done it before.
So beautiful.
So,
I absolutely like the shape of her, the way the blood. I absolutely love it. It's so good.
The shape of her.
Yeah. So yeah, hard work too. Yep.
Yes, beautiful. Saggy, what do you have coming up?
Ah,
Pimp your channel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes, please check me out because I just found out I was shadow banned today. So I mean,
I'm
I could use
sorry.
all the help I could get. Saggy Melons with a Z. Please, for the love of God, do not type melons with an S because it does take you to the dark corner of the internet that I did not know existed before I chose this name. So make sure you type it with a Z, or you might find out something new you like. I don't know. I'm not judging. But yeah, I do pretty much drama, sometimes pop culture news. It depends on what I'm feeling that day or that week. And no, thank you so much for having me, Tristan. The chat on everyone's platform has been amazing. It was great having conversation with you. And yeah, I hope to see y'all soon.
Yes.
Wait, why
Make sure
is
you check
Nerdy
her out.
Girl
She's awesome.
Creates channel link
She
on
was
here?
supposed to stream with me. She had a
Oh.
power issues, so I
She
think
don't
it
got
probably just an
power.
accident. So, Bianca, do you have anything coming up? I know you were just streaming the other day, but do you have anything you're working on coming up on your channel?
Yeah, I'm doing a comic review right now. I'm like trying to get the wording because I keep having really weird pauses, and I was actually going to be done, but then I realized the stream is at freaking 6 and not 7. I'm like, dang, I
I'm
don't have time to finish
sorry.
it. That's fine, that's fine. So I'm just gonna get that out. It's gonna be for a Kickstarter called that is still out right now called Ninja bimbos versus zombies from deep space.
Love it.
That's
And
awesome.
I had the pleasure of interviewing that person on one of my live streams, and he gave me the comic to review. So I will be saying, is this comic backable on Kickstarter? You want to find out the answer? Go watch it once I
That's
finish
right.
making it.
Oh, thank you so much, ETAP. Let me great stream and piano. Oh, hi, Saggy. Thank you. And I will email you back tonight about doing something together. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I will have videos up tomorrow. I will see you guys later. Bye.